on the subject of I Can Wait the fanfiction. So this one started off pretty slow, got pretty good, and then settled at pretty good, pretty great. 4 out of 5. Um, this was an this was a Rainbow Dash fanfiction. Um, Applejack died, and Rainbow Dash is waiting on a cloud at Sweet Apple Acres. All of the girls come and talk to Rainbow Dash, and that's the entire story. Literally all of the girls, including Applejack. So, what happens is, you don't know that Applejack's dead. You kind of know Applejack's dead literally by you kind of figure by Fluttershy, and then it's confirmed by Rarity, and then it's just thrown in your face by Pinky. So Rainbow is waiting for Applejack, and she's not coming. And then Fluttershy comes from below, and she has like food, and she's like, "I'm taking it to them, to the Apple family, because they shouldn't have to worry about cooking right now." It's like, okay, that's weird. Why? Something happened. And then Rainbow Dash is like, well, tell Applejack to come out and meet me. And Fluttershy acts weird, so you're like, oh yeah, Applejack's dead, probably. And then Rarity comes, and Rarity's wearing all black, so you're like, oh yeah, it's definitely a dead Applejack. Um, Also, this was marked as rainbow, apple dash or rainbow jack, and it's like, why? There was no romance in here. I didn't. It wasn't. It was that. Anyways. So when Rarity comes in her black, she's like, "Come with us to Canterlot," and Rainbow Dash is like, "No." And Rarity's like, "You're a horrible person," and she's like, "Don't care. I'm waiting for Applejack." And then Rarity leaves crying. And then, Deflated Pinky comes. Um, Deflated Pinky comes, and you're like, oh yeah. And she talks about uh, Celestia giving a speech and Luna giving a speech. They mentioned Luna, but she wasn't in the story, which is not surprising. Um, and then like, because like Rainbow is like, I hope you had fun. And she's like, that wasn't really the point, Dashy. And she's like, you're acting really weird. She's like, this is this a prank? She's like, it's not fun if it is. And then she like kind of gets freaked out by Rainbow Dash and she leaves. And then Twilight comes, and this is where it starts to get like good because of the conversation. It's kind of well, let me finish first. So, anyways, they're talking or whatever, and then Rainbow Dash is like, "Can I ask you a question?" And like, Twilight's like, "Of course. Like, I'm here for you, Rainbow." And Rainbow's like, "How come I don't tell ponies that I love them?" And like, Twilight's like, "What?" And she's like, "No, see, it's stupid." Rainbow's like, "That's a stupid question." She's like, "It's not stupid." She's like, "I just don't really." She's like, "Can you elaborate?" And she's like, "Well, it's because like Pinky tells ponies that she loves them all the time." She's like, "But I can't. I don't tell them. I don't tell ponies that I love them. I've never told anyone." And she's like, "We've been friends." She's like, "You came and we did all the stuff with Nightmare Moon, and we're best friends." And she's like, I love you guys." She's like, "I love you, Twilight." She's like, "But I didn't tell Applejack." She's like, "I have to stay here and wait until Applejack comes so that I could tell her." And like Twilight like is like, I'm gonna head back to the to the library. She's like, uh if you want to come. And Rainbow's like, "No." She's like, "I have to wait for Applejack." And Twilight's like, "Okay." She's like, "We're gonna go to the hill or whatever." And Rainbow Dash is like, "Why?" And she's like, "Where Applejack's parents are buried? Why?" And she's like, "Well, I think we have a lot to say, things that we need to say or whatever." And Rainbow Dash is like, "No, I'll pass. I gotta wait for Applejack." And Twilight's like, "Applejack is gonna be there." And like Rainbow Dash doesn't say anything, and Twilight's like, I'm gonna go." She's like, if you wanna, she's like, "I'll leave the door open." So then, like, Rainbow Dash is like, "I'm gonna take a nap." She started to get tired because it was late, and she falls asleep. And right when she falls asleep, Applejack calls her, and her and Applejack are talking, and It's really sad. This part was really really effective. The voice acting and stuff was really good on this part, and like uh, Applejack, Applejack is like, you have to come down, and Rainbow Dash is like, she's like, it'll hurt, and she's like, I know it will. She's like, but you have to, and she's like, no, I don't. She's like, I'll go to Cloudsdale. She's like, I'll never come down, and she's like, I'm afraid I can't let you do that or whatever, and she throws like her lasso around Dash, and she's pulling her through the cloud, and Dash is holding onto the cloud, and Rainbow's like, "Ooh, yeah, this part was really sad." It didn't make me cry, but if I really concentrate on it, it will make me cry. She's like, she's like, I never got to tell you that I loved you. She's like, I love you, Applejack. She's like, and I never did. I never told you. And Applejack is like, I know, Rainbow. She's like, I always knew. She's like, I love you too. She's like, I always knew you loved me, and I always will. And she pulls her out of the cloud, and Rainbow falls, and she crashes. And when she crashes, she gets up real fast to yell at Applejack, but then she realizes that she was sleeping, and it was just a dream, and she just breaks pretty bad. She starts screaming, and she's crying, and she just rolls up into a ball. And the girls come in the morning, and they see her, and they find her, and they take her, and they all go to the hill where the parents are buried, and Applejack is buried. And that's the end of the story. And it's really funny, the different takes that people have on these things. Like if you look at the one the other day, the one where Rainbow Dash died, their friendship broke up. The guy wrote that their friendship literally just got annihilated. Rainbow Dash died, and Rainbow Dash's death caused Rarity to move away from Ponyville. It caused Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy to go into a horrible depression that wouldn't stop. It caused Applejack to never, ever, ever smile again. And it caused Twilight to lose her emotions. She's like, emotions don't have any purpose. This one, it's like Applejack died, and everybody's pretty. The only one that really got affected in this one was Rainbow. Twilight was kind of sad. She's like, I've been reading up on grief, and it's really strange. And like, even when because Pinkie, when she was saying about Princess Celestia and Princess Luna doing the speech, when she's like, they both did speeches. She's like, even Twilight tried. She's like, she tried so hard, Dashy. And I was like, yeah, she probably was devastated, and she couldn't because she was crying. And she's like, she was doing good until she dropped her cards, and then she couldn't pick them back up, and she had no. And I'm like, oh, so it wasn't even grief; it was just she fumbled them, like, and that's like okay. And then like Rarity cried, which yeah, okay. And then Pinkie was deflated, but she wasn't even crying. It's like, and Fluttershy just didn't even at all. She was just like, I'm taking him soup, and it's like, dang guys, you guys didn't care at all if Applejack died, I guess. And it's strange the comparison into how people are like, yeah, this is how they would react if this happened. Again, like how I would like, yeah, if this happened, in my story, it's just an overwhelming. It's just too much. It's just a future without anything. I liked this story. I thought it was pretty good. But I thought it was great. I really had no problems with it, I don't think. Other than that, no, I did have this problem. And this is the problem that I have with a lot of these stories, is that you could do this, right? And it's fine to do this, because it's like me with my lack of explanation on like stuff that I'm like, this doesn't really matter, so I don't know why I would explain it. It doesn't really matter to know how Applejack died because it has no bearing on the story, but I would always like to know because the grief behind it would be way worse. Like, there are certain things that could happen that would make this story more effective because of the way she died. Like, did she die just like in her sleep? Because like, oh, okay, that's kind of nothing. Did she die because she got sick? That's a bit more devastating. Did she die because she was doing something, and something like there? It's something that has a bearing on the story. That's why I gave all of the main six. That's why I gave everybody a cause of death. It was natural, natural, illness, though he was old, six naturals, a seventh natural, and then unnatural accident. That's literally all of the deaths. And it's like, yeah, this matters, I think. I don't know why you would think it doesn't. Um, but yeah, I thought it was good. I liked it. 4 out of 5, not even 3. 4 out of 5 stars. Yeah, good voice acting. Pretty decent storyline. I liked the way it was set up and stuff. Just some weird things that held it back from being a 5. Pretty good.